Ideas now with Ben Young. The best ideas are free Monday morning. Some inspiration. Morning, Ben.
Good morning.
And today we're talking about shipping containers.
Yeah, so I was having another look at the Christchurch Shipping Container Mall restart. Like, really, really cool idea. And then I was starting to piece together all the times that I'd heard about people using shipping containers.
There are some very innovative ways to use shipping containers. Of course, Christchurch showed both the container mall, but also to hold buildings up.
Yeah.
But there are many other things, right?
So did a bit more research because I've mentioned it before. And what I've found out, and I'll go through some of the examples in a minute, Kiwis are almost world innovators in doing stuff with shipping containers.
Is that
Most
right?
ideas I find, a Kiwi's done it first, or they're going, this is what the New Zealanders are doing.
Yeah.
I don't know what our fetish is with shipping containers.
Is that the whole DIY thing that they always talk about?
I think the beauty of a shipping container is you can do DIY with it without having to worry about destroying load balancing walls.
Or is it us Kiwis will walk into a shipping container and we go, oh, you can stand up in this thing. It's all right.
Right, music room.
Yeah.
Full bar.
4 walls, a roof. Yeah, it's all right.
Easy, just cut a hole here, and that's pretty much what people do. Like, there's porta batch, which I've seen around quite a bit, and basically they'll convert a shipping container into a fold-out batch, and they'll drop it anywhere you want, which is kind of cool because it means you can put it in places where you couldn't build before, or that are hard to access. And I've seen that online in really hard to reach places, like without road access. I've been dropped in via helicopter and that kind of stuff.
You can imagine that, buy a little plot of land next to the beach, and people say, what are you going to put there? Oh, here it comes down the road now on a truck.
Yeah.
Or what's that, a shipping container?
Mountain lake in the middle of nowhere. I've seen that. That looks cool.
Yeah.
But the question is, though, if you have to do that to get that there, how do you get there?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
We've seen housing blocks, and I saw some photos online of how they decked it out. And it is a bit long and skinny, so it's more for kind of students or, solo occupants. But it seems to work quite nicely.
These things are obviously heavily modified, right? I mean, you've got to have the jib and everything.
So basically they use the structure, they'll strip it out, and then they'll just install a drywall on the inside, or jibboard, and then they'll do it up that way. And so, of course, there's electricity and all that other stuff.
And you want to whack a few windows in.
Yeah. So depending on the way that they do it, if it's stacked up in a building, often they have the windows at the end. Otherwise, they usually cut a hole in the side, which is what a lot of the batches do. The side comes down and it opens up as a deck.
Yeah.
So it actually looks quite impressive. Here in New Zealand, we've used them as prison cells.
Yeah.
Which when you look online, people all around the world are like, wow.
And some people choose to live in these things as well.
Yeah. So tons of eco accommodation and that kind of stuff. Pop-up stores. So I've seen this quite a bit actually. Down behind the Britomart, Puma have a pop-up store there in a shipping container, and it actually looks quite cool.
How modified is that one?
So they've purposely left it quite original, I think, and they've just cut a hole in the front, and then I don't think there are windows in the sides. But they've kind of extended the store slightly out the front to make it a bit more inviting.
Right.
Which is quite cool. You've got Britomart Country Club where they've used that to house the bar and the toilets, which is quite cool. Wine cellar. Apparently that's quite popular. Dig a hole, put it in there.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other one is, and you mentioned it too, being used for walls or to support structures.
Yeah.
So it's basically, and I guess this might be why Kiwi blokes like it, it's like big blocks of Lego.
It is really, isn't it? And that's how they're designed. That's why they fit on the back of their ships, and that's why you saw on the Rena that they all kind of stick together. I mean, they're strapped together, but they fit so well that they don't fall off so easily.
Yeah, well, they're kind of like basic building blocks, so you can do whatever you want with them.
And they're standardised.
Yeah, and I guess that's what excites the imagination. If I put 3 of these on top of one another, they will hold the weight.
How many different ways can we configure it?
Yeah, and that's what they did with that Restart shopping mall. Really, really cool. If you jump up onto their website, restart.org.nz, they've got a time-lapse of them building it.
Right.
Which is quite cool. And it actually looks quite nice, too. It doesn't look dismal.
Well, it looks like a large Lego, as you say, doesn't it? And there's, as an architect, it would be obviously quite simple, but very fun to work with. Sort of how you could stack them. Could you turn one to the side?
But also, how do you make them non-blocky and kind of interesting?
Yeah.
Because when you look at all the structures,
the geometric sort of
you
shapes,
kind of realise it is a shipping container, but they've changed it enough so that it isn't just that block Lego look. So it actually looks quite fresh and innovative.
Yeah. Any other uses?
Next thing I was like, how much do these cost? Jump on Trade Me. You can get a really average one for about $1,000.
So it's a bit seen better days.
Yeah, definitely seen better days. A bit of rust, and that's about 20 foot. At the other end, you can get a nice 40-foot one for about 6 to 10K.
Check out my nice 40-foot shipping container out the
It's
back,
like the new boat.
Yeah.
But it's actually quite interesting. If you just get that structure, I'm sure there's a lot of things you could do with it that we haven't thought of yet.
Yeah, I know. In hurricane-prone regions, they're looking at in the States. They're looking at using shipping containers as a basis for the building. They're building around the shipping containers, but at least you've got this sort of safe area.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like a bomb shelter or a hurricane shelter.
Yeah, I suppose so.
And people have done that as well. Underground storage. I think I mentioned wine cellars.
And talking about boats, they do tend to float. I've noticed.
Yes,
sort of just under the surface, but they're floating in a less little submarine.
So, if you're worried about global warming, down by the water's fine. You'll just rise with it.
Shipping containers. There you go. There's a few ideas.
Very cool.
Get yourself one this summer, maybe.
Yeah, we're world innovators in it.
Yeah. bwagy.com and also on Twitter as well. Ben Young it is. Thanks very much.
Cheers.